Gratex the Evil. Yes, he's made a video that's just horrible, both in performance and content. Just horrible. Objective morality. He says, no, 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 no. I say, yes, 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 yes.
This has been going on YouTube for about 3 or 4 years now, so and obviously it's been going on philosophy for many, many, many years. I find it quite bizarre that you made a video about this. It just seems so simple and has ignored everything that's going on in this website about this topic.
Yeah, no, I think it pretty well stated everything that's going on and made it really simple. All right, cut it right to the bare bone, which is we know value exists and we know what its components and constituents are. We can view the maze game and we can identify the parts.
When you say that subjective morality is obnoxious, I laugh because your morality is subjective. Okay? The morality that you possess is subjective.
Again, what do you think the word subjective means? I mean, it just doesn't mean anything unless you're going to talk about subjective as if it's from an emotional point of view, or a bias that makes you subjective in the sense that you have such a closed, biased environment from which you're viewing things. So you're ill-informed. So that sort of subjectivity might give you an argument. But that's not who you're arguing with. So it's a bullshit argument.
The morality that Mendel possesses is subjective. The morality that I possess is subjective. Okay? I have feelings.
No, look, there's no point in not separating something that's discerned through observation and evaluation and experiment and demonstration and logic, and something you just, oh, I feel it. I mean, we know the difference between those two sources of information. We know one lands us on the moon and one doesn't. So this is just a bullshit argument. The fact is that we know a lot about why we're here now and how we got here and all that crap, and we can draw some simple conclusions about what's valuable in this circumstance we exist in, and it's not that fucking complicated.
What is right and wrong, I share them with other people. If we come to an agreement upon what is moral and immoral.
That's just a social contract, okay? So we make deals about what we will do to facilitate the capacity to have a civilization. But it's just nonsense to say that somehow it has something to do with what individuals feel or think, all right? My personal morality has no problem assassinating an asshole. I would have no problem doing that. If I see him do something assholish, I'm certain of my judgment. I will exercise my judgment. Wait a minute, no, can't, because we'd have this social contract thing that stops us from lynching each other. But that's all it is. It's a concession to the social contract. It has nothing to do with my morality. It has to do with what compromises I'm willing to write with other assholes like you.
As far as politics and society is concerned, then we can have codified laws, and we can decide what is legal and illegal through legislation. This is the way
that has nothing to do with how we define the truth. There's a truth about what this game is. There's an accurate description, completely accurate description that is possible. And all we need is the intelligence to attain it. But it exists, fucktard.
Human beings create morality and create codified laws. It's a system that works. Okay?
Well, the fact that it works is kind of even a silly word. It obviously doesn't work. We make horrible deals. We cheat each other all the fucking time, and that's why we don't even have all our freedom and our liberties that we should have. It's because we get cheated. So it doesn't fucking work. But it's better than the alternatives.
A system that doesn't work is the imposition of objective morality.
Well, the imposition right there, okay? Who's suggesting imposing objective morality? We are saying that if you have an argument, you take your argument to the people, you take it to the polls, and you get what you think, what you have figured out to be the truth, implemented. But you have a right to call it the truth, especially if you've done the work to be able to defend that truth.
Look at all impositions of objective morality throughout all of human recorded history.
Oh, well, let's look at all examples of man-powered flight through all recorded history before 1915 or whatever the fuck it was. All right, let's look at it. Oh, it's all fail, isn't it? Oh, every single time a human being tried to fly, he failed. And then he figured out the dynamics, right? And he figured out how to fucking do it, and he did it.
You will see that they have always failed. Why have they always failed? Because it's subjective.
Again, no, they failed because their morality was based on stupid, ignorant notions, and they were arrogant motherfuckers. And that's a huge difference, fucktard. They didn't have any knowledge, they didn't have any understanding. All they had was bigotry and faith, and they were imposing bigotry and faith on other people. Okay? A clear violation of ethics and morality.
Even when the clerics and priests or whoever was in charge of objective morality.
Like I said, what's the difference whether they called their morality subjective or objective? The crime was that they would impose it without any accountability for how they're imposing it. And they were imposing it through a mechanism that I would bet, okay, I will bet you real dough, that they knew, okay, they knew they hadn't earned that right.
People who were in charge and decided what was right and wrong for the masses, even those persons, when they told you what was right and wrong, people still disobeyed them, obviously got punished very harshly.
So what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with whether or not there's an accurate definition of our circumstance available to us to discern?
For what seemed like to them ridiculous rules and ridiculous laws. Why? Because morality is subjective, so a human being saying...
It's just idiotic. So if I create a rat maze experiment, we won't be... there's only going to be subjective opinion about whether or not it's functional. If I build a car and I put the engine over there and the wheels over there, and I don't even connect the two, and the damn thing doesn't work, well, it's only a subjective opinion that it doesn't fucking work. Bullshit.
I can't eat X product on Thursdays, but I can on Wednesdays.
It's pretty silly, okay? Okay, so you're going to talk about gluing feathers, on your arms, and that's the conversation you're going to have in the 21st century, right? Is you're going to sit there and make us defend guys who are gluing feathers on the arms. You're not going to talk to me. You're not going to talk about some astrophysicist guy or some other guy who's, flown in space shuttles or something, right? You're just going to talk this kind of bullshit.
But only before the sun is at its highest point in the sky. It didn't make any sense, but it was called objective morality.
I don't even think it was called that, okay? It was called God's law or some other kind of crap like that. So again, you're just fucking, you're cheating this argument all over the fucking place.
Because it wasn't the true objective truth about what's right and wrong. But what is? How do you know that if you don't kill a baby, you've done the right thing?
It's not about knowing, okay, some circumstance. It's about the fact that there is a truth to the circumstance. That's all it's about. It's about that there is a calculation. It's not about our ability to make the calculation in every circumstance accurately. I mean, this has gone, you complain about all these videos, but apparently you don't listen to them because many people have talked about the fact that, no, we behave based on probabilities and likelihoods because we can't know the explicit truth about the circumstance. But the explicit truth does fucking exist. There is a right or wrong answer to whether or not Adolf Hitler, if you could kill him in 1940 or 1936, let's say, whether or not you should. Okay? There is an explicit truth. We won't know it, we can't know it, but it's there.
How do you know that baby won't grow up and kill lots of people or do something, butterfly effect, that triggers the complete destruction of the entire universe?
Well, again, that would be preposterous. Not to act at all when you have the faculty of knowing probabilities and likelihoods is just fucking idiotic. When you know what the likely result is, you have to go with that as a rational, reasonable human being. It would be stupid and idiotic to go with the fact that, well, there's a 1 in a million chance that something blah, 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 Gratex told me this fairy story and it could be true, and so I'll bet on the 1 in a million. That would be stupid. Colossally stupid.
The most horrific circumstances possible. You can't know the consequences of your actions.
And no one's claiming to know them. No one. No one's claiming to know them. All they're claiming is that there is objective value. There's a truth to be discerned.
With a very small contextual, short frame of time, like you know that it would be wrong, subjectively, to kill a baby to cause the pain to...
Again with this subjectivity thing. There's a lot of people who don't have those emotions. They're not going to feel it. They're just going to know it's wrong, okay? They're not going to feel that it's wrong. I mean, so that's just an idiotic argument. Lots of people are going to feel like, well, fuck my stupid old fucking rotting parents. I mean, they're getting old and somebody they take care of. Well, fuck them. You know, throw them in a garbage can. That could be how they're emotionally feeling. The dumb bastards were nothing but a pain in the ass. But then they'll feel some other guilt or some other sense of social responsibility and do what they have to do. All right, but it's not going to... This argument that somehow it has something to do with some pure subjective emotion even is bullshit. The point is, though, there's rational arguments we can have about value.
The baby whilst you're killing it and to cause pain to the baby's relatives. Why? Because you know that would cause you pain subjectively, and you're able to through empathy, to know that...
What a pile of crap, through empathy. Bullshit. I hate your flabby fucking guts. All right? But I don't have one tiny bit of fucking empathy for you. All right? But at the same time, you know, if I could stop you from getting cholera by snapping my fingers, I would do it. All right? Because I know there'd be no fucking point in you having cholera. It would accomplish nothing. It would just be a human being suffering. All right? But I wouldn't do it because I have any empathy for you, you stupid fucktard.
Other beings can suffer. And that's how morality works inside your brain and every other human's brain. Isn't that...
Says you, okay? That's not how it works. How it works is we're intelligent creatures, and we figure out, okay, there's no God, we're biological organisms, there's this faculty of sensation. I have personally experienced it. Yeah, it's powerful. Okay, bad, hurt, pain, broken legs, these are bad things. I'm not going to give them to somebody else. I'm not going to impose them on somebody else for my own benefit. That would be goddamn fucking stupid. It doesn't make any sense mathematically. All right, that's objective morality. It's fucking logic, you dumbass.
Objective truth? Yeah, because there are objective truths, but they're not objective morals. Why?
Why? Oh, this will be good. So there's objective truths, but there's not objective morals. So we can't say suffering is bad, because there could be some catch where suffering is actually good. Right? That we just don't understand it. Like, we're really deliriously happy when we have a brain tumor, and we just don't know it. Oh, fuck you.
Because in order to have morals, you need to have values. And values are entirely subjective.
Well, it says you again. You're saying there's no objective declarations that can be stated about the basic functionality of biological sentient organisms where we can say it's a bad thing. So in your crazy, fucktarded, insane little brain, if there was a planet of just suffering horror, Holocaust suffering horror, you would have to say, no, can't do anything about it because I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. All right, it doesn't mean anything objectively. And there's a rule that says I can't act just subjectively because that's just a bias or a bigotry. So fuck that. So I can't act because there's no objective mandate to act. That's just fucking idiotic.
Even if we share them with each other, they're entirely subjective. So I think from a perspective of somebody who's a skeptic and somebody who's very empirical,
from somebody who's just full of fucking goddamn rotten potatoes.
I think you really should capitulate to this idea of subjective morality. Why? Because it doesn't have this fantasy of objective right and objective wrong when it comes...
The fantasy that pain is a nasty thing and that pleasure is a good thing. That's a fantasy. In his opinion, that's not an established premise. That's not an established fact. We have to be ambiguous and uncertain about that. That's just too confusing and weird, and we're going to have to rub up against it to figure it out, because we can't figure it out with our brain. Yeah, right.
To value judgments, because that is fantasy, that is myth, and that's something that you reel against.
Yours is the myth. Yours is the myth that you've written some rule that says there's no value in the universe that can be ascertained by a human being. The only thing human beings can be is horny or hungry, but they can't think. They can't use their brain to define a value. They have to wait till they're horny or hungry. So anyway, what a retard. God, he's just so full of fucking goddamn shit. So anyway, enough of the video.